I believe I should go live now. Yes, yes. Okay, okay. So my new trick works. Okay, that's perfect. Welcome to Geometry Dash Hell. You can't leave. You can't leave until I'm done. Which I hate going Geometry Dash Hell. Let me turn on the lights. I hate doing Geometry Dash Hell because it's always scared for me. But I think I got this one in the bag. Um, It won't take me too many tries. This will probably take me like a couple hours. It doesn't look very scared. I have 33% left to do, which is kind of scary in Geodash. Especially because this is like insane, which is kind of my difficulty. But I feel like this is quite an easy insane level. So we should be fine. I feel like my title is very depressing. Now the question is, can I still perform well while streaming? Because I was doing quite well in this level earlier. I have practiced a bit, then I had a dinner break. I practiced primarily the end, which is the hard bit. I also try to get the coin on this one, because the coin is pretty easy to do. It doesn't make the level more difficult. Okay, I missed the coin. I clicked too early. Also, the music of this level is quite good. The level looks great. I love how the level looks. I like doing like cool looking levels on stream. After that, I'm probably going to do Rogue Trader. Continuing with Scorch. Look at star on this. Ah, fuck, I need to hit that. I needed to hit that. As I said, the coin is not super hard. That doesn't mean it is not harder than the standard version. Standard version is like super easy. The coin is, especially because I have practice and I'm not that practiced on the coin yet. I don't know what I was doing there. I got scared. Did I change to... Wait, I don't remember if I actually changed to Geodash or we're trying again. Making sure that OBS did update. Oh! You cannot click that early. You have to just like let it run out. Otherwise you just shoot up. It's kind of dumb. There's like a support there, and if you're in oh yeah, this happens. I really need to turn that off, but it's fucking funny every time. There we go. It's basically my stream timer, but the last few times I've just started streaming and don't have like a prep screen. I feel like I should have a prep screen, which I do, but usually I'm already behind my computer and already playing a game, so I'm like, hey, I'm playing a game, I might as well actually go just live. And then I don't want to wait 5 minutes before I can start. I might do that. I might do the waiting thing when I get like an actual audience. because for now, I don't have an audience, so, right? Like, oh, I don't care. I need to scream in line too. I need to be like, ah. Stream info successfully updated. Yeah, can you go, please? Also, this can go like this. This can go like this. Let me test. There we go. That works. Okay, wait a second. There we go. That sounds a lot more. That sounds a lot more silly. It was not silly enough. It was too serious. This sounds way more silly, and I like silliness. I need to show my silliness in my stream title. Otherwise, like, I get too many serious people in here. I don't want serious people in here. I want fucking people that are crazy and like me. So I need to show in my stream title that I am fucking insane. Which is, that's what I'm doing. Fuck, I missed it. Oh, shit, I'll do people a bit. That was my headset. That was like a bit hurting. There we go. Now this. The guitar is so good on this. Come on. Nailed it. And then we don't nail that. Scheiße. Scheiße, fliegen durch die Luft. Ah, nein, ich bin nicht Deutsch. Like every German would know that, by the way. It's fucking, probably the most fucking accented Dutch German in the universe. Okay, come on. Get to the part where we have practiced and hope that we can one-shot it. Which I probably don't, but I'm hoping. We were very close to the part that I practiced. So. It's kind of after the ball section. There we go. And now, I think now. Oh, no, this is not yet. Even though I also practice this. This is not super easy. Oh, that was almost a dead. This is the part. I hit that so, I hit that! Game, I hit that! Fuck, I hit that so hard, man. I fucking nailed that. The game didn't agree with me. He didn't think I hit that. Oh, fuck. I think that's the first time I died on that spike. Where I just didn't fucking jump. That one is also a first one. There's a lot of... I mean, I'm streaming, so we'll be getting a lot of first timers. We'll be getting a lot of first not shatters, first time deaths. Because I need to pay attention to multiple things now. I need to multitask, and that's not good. Why do I start thinking about something? Oh, fuck! I forgot. I need to hold there. You need to. You get like no. You get like no. You get like no rest. No rest for the wicked. You like need to insta. If you're like don't instantly press the button, you're too late. You're going to be loaded too late. Which is, by the way, very good practice for an undifferent level that I'm doing, where I need to keep my eyes on the prize and insta react after a transformation. I wonder why they classified this as an insane though. This doesn't feel like the difficulty of an insane. Instant press. Okay, ball section. Boom, coin. Ah, fuck, I got that too late. Ah, okay. It's my glasses that is hurting my head. So I need to put that better on my ears, hopefully, that works, and then... Ooh. Ooh. Oh, loosen up my ears. Okay, that one was a purpose. That one is also a purpose. Those are, by the way, not first time deaths. I have died to that spike many a times. Usually when I wasn't ready yet. Yeah, it is my glasses that is like being a fucking bitch right now. I don't know why. It was like really pushing on there. I've never had that pain before. Let's oh. Okay, let's give me a moment. So the glasses alone, that is fine. So it is the headset. It's only this side. Okay, I think it's better now. I think. We'll see in a bit. Because it takes a while before the hurt starts coming in. Yeah, I think this is way better. Okay. Way better. No longer pain. Okay, foul section. What? I was almost too late there. Okay, this thing. There we go. You need to fucking hit that instantly. Okay, this is so far going good. Yes. Why is that missing? Like I feel like there's something like I feel like I'm not getting far enough, but I've done that before without too much issue. I mean, I've only done it like twice, so it's not like I've done it much. But the twice, the 2 times or 3 times that I have done it, I never fucked it up. So I've never felt like I had to practice that. If I fail that again, I'm going to go and practice for that specific piece. Fuck me! Scheiße! Okay, somebody apped me. Why are they apping in the middle of stream? Oh, never mind. It's not important. It's family bullshit. Don't care. Okay, that one I meant to do. Trust me, I meant to do that one. That's not what I want to do, but sure. Let's give it another shot. I don't want to die there. If I now make it, I'm going to get so angry, man. And like that one doesn't count. If this one does not count, it's just practice. Okay. Yes. Now this bit. This bit I don't think I will make it. Yeah. Okay, I pressed too early. But that's good practice. That's good practice because I got further. We got further. We didn't get the coin, but we got further. Also, after the duel, I should make it. After a duel, I should make it. Like, everything after a duel is fucking butt shit easy, and I should just make it. I've practiced everything after a duel quite extensively too, to make sure that I don't fuck up there, because I tend to like, even if the ending is butt shit easy, I tend to fuck up because my emotions go high, right? So I've practiced that quite a bit. So I shouldn't die. It's just mostly just wave span. But it's a wave span that you need to be mentally aware of when it happens. Because if you don't, you die. So it's like different forms of wave span and you need to adjust. So it's like it requires a little bit of mental strength. There we go. Okay, I don't know why I didn't hit that one. I fucking feel like my mouse sometimes is dropping inputs, but I'm not sure if my mouse is dropping inputs or if I'm stupid. That one was not a mouse drop. I just didn't click. If my mouse is dropping inputs, it's very irregular, but it is an old mouse, so it's like it's a cheap mouse. It's like a very fucking cheap mouse, and it is old. Like I've had this one for at least 5 years. I do like that this is almost no upside down stuff, which is probably why it makes it so easy for me. No upside down flying, no upside down cube. Even though I'm like pretty good at upside down cube, it's still like it's harder than normal cube. Yeah, that one was I went into the portal too late. I went up too late. So that one I know that I fucked up there. It went really high there. That was unnecessarily high. There we go. We need to be early there. Okay, that orb doesn't do anything, but it's fine. Why? Why should I just not hit that one? Do I just not hit that one? I believe I need to hit that one, but like you get like a little bit more of a chance to hit it. It's easier to hit it with the right side than with the left side, so like it then like does weird shit, and I don't get it. I don't get that bit. And that's the only bit that I don't get, like, from the entire duel. Like, I practice it over and over, it's just random. This is such a boring moment. How is this insane? Like, who has made this insane? This is not... Like, this is, like, I've played harder levels that are harder than this one. Like, I feel like this is, like, hard. Max. Maybe I'm just insane. Maybe sometimes I'm the insane. I mean, I am, but, like, I mean on this stuff. By the way, the best part is, the sooner I finish this, the sooner I can do actual something fun. Okay, we're back here. Okay, yeah, I do have to hit that. Okay, I cannot not hit that. That's clear to me now. And you're like, you have never tried to not hit that? I might have. I don't fucking know. I don't remember. My brain empty. Nori brain empty. Okay, wait, my headset is fucking... Is it just... I think it's just like the way it's positioned. Oh, that's too early. Okay, focus mode. There's nobody in stream now. You don't need to talk that much. Unless there's lurkers, which you don't know because you're not checking that. Also, if you're a lurker, just say hi, and then you can go back to lurking. It helps with the stream algorithm, I think. I don't know, I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. Okay, just be silent. The idea that I might have lurkers is way too enticing, so just don't say anything. Or do, like, I'd like to talk. Come on. There we go. Yes. Yeah, baby. Yeah. And then the wave, which is literally an easy wave. I missed it. Yeah, I was too late. I was way too late. No, that one wasn't me. The fucking it going black is like the screen going fully black is like that's it's hard to time that or harder. Is it just do I need to maybe I click it up a little? Maybe that's it. Maybe I just had to higher it up. That was a really good pass, by the way. That was like a pass where I got like a lot of time before we had to do anything. You can see which parts are like made by other people because of like the way they indicate when you have to jump. That's how you obviously when the part is made by a different person because the weight, their jump indicators, which is also a different jump indicator. Oh my god, I can't believe I made that. I need to practice that. I need to practice that. I'm dying too much there. Okay, we're practicing the duel, and it's specifically that specific fucking part. It's like 4 times now that I died there. Okay. Yeah, that's a good pass. Oh, that's a good save. I know the places where I'm most likely to die. Okay, I think I placed it. here we need to practice. Oh. Oh, I think I know. I don't think I know. I don't. I wish I could make this go slow. Okay, okay, I think I do know, and I just have to press it late. Yeah, I have to press it later. That one is also annoying. Yeah. Hello, Gumball! Okay, I don't know what that is. Hello, gummies. Oh my god, I'm stupid. My dip. Do I need to press that? I think I need to press it after. Oh, I do need to press that. Yeah, you definitely do. There's spikes there. Faster? Okay, that's not it. There we go. This I should one shot. Okay, perfect. I want to die there, so I can get another shot at this. Okay, there. I still don't know what to do with the long... Yeah. That is such a hard one to hit. Because it's like slightly off. See, it's like slightly off. The second one is also slightly off. Okay. Okay. Fine. I That bit is so annoying. Oh my god, that like fucking because you drop there, and because of your drop, your input doesn't happen. There we go. You need to hold. You just need to hold there. Fucking need to hold. You hold, it's fine. You're good. Because otherwise your input just gets dropped. Ooh. I want to die again. If you can get this now consistently. Nope. That was past the fucking thing. Now I have to like figure out how to get to the next bit. This is all so well music synced, and then it just fucking stops. Come on. There we go. Oh no, okay, it does have music. I'm stupid. I'm just stupid. I will die again at the end of this. There we go. I died. I fucked up there. It wasn't an easy. Okay, yeah, that's way easier with holding it there. Way more consistent. Okay, I will finish this now. And then we're going to do the entire level. There we go. Okay. Still getting in my head. I need to do this, otherwise it's okay. It needs to be a little bit. One more. Let's see if this helps. Okay. Let's see if we can finish Geometry Dash Hell and start Rogue Trader. How long am I streaming already? I can look. I'm in the middle of a Geodash level already. You cannot move. You cannot move. Consistency I have now. Ooh, that was close. Okay, yeah, I don't know. That's the first death. That's the first death. I was looking too far forward ahead. I should get this now in like a couple attempts. Shouldn't like take me like 100 more attempts. Like I might die a couple more times at the duel. The duel is probably why this is at least is calculated than what it's saying. The duel is like, significantly harder than the rest of the level. Hey, we're back. Okay, duel. Okay, I missed that one. I still missed that one. Oh, yeah, that's so annoying. I don't want to die at the goddamn yellow orb. It's such an evil orb. Maybe it just opened, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. Because I believe the trigger happens anyway. Let's try that. Or I'm just, like, not fucking way too early. That could also be an option. I fucking my brain empty. Sorry, brain, don't think. Just press button. And then sometimes you have to think, and then I forget to think. My ear is still hurting. It has not solved anything so far. Past all the past moments, so let's get started after this attempt. Okay, that's fine. Now we pushed it all the way up. Let's see if this hurts less. I can also do this. This looks a bit weird. Wait. Because I don't think it's my glasses that cause the pain. I think it's the headset. Which is weird because I normally don't have. I can wear this thing the entire day and I'm not have issues. And I can wear my glasses the entire day and not have issues. And somehow the two combined are like causing pain. No, I'm getting paid at 2 spots. It's insane. Okay, taking this off. Oh, oh, why? Why is it doing that? It's mostly this side. Mm. I've like streamed more than plenty like this, and let's try the other glasses. Maybe it's just I have like a second pair, which is the same glasses by the way. They're the same ones, but maybe they're better equipped for streaming. I don't know. They are nice and cool though. That's maybe this is better. Who knows? Maybe it's just that specific type of glasses, and then I have to just maintain this as streaming glasses. We'll see. We'll see. It takes a bit before I start getting paid because I've massaged. Okay, I missed it. Fine. That's fine. We died. Ah, get nightbotted, bitch. Ooh, I'm almost missed that. Oh, I just posted a link, so it's probably fine. I've worked different glasses. They sit like slightly different on my face. Like the nose bridge is like slightly elevated slightly, and I feel like they are less clamping. I mean, they're cheap AliExpress glasses, so like two of the same pair will not be the same. I can't believe there's only one point in this level. I've not seen any other. I've not finished the level, so I don't know. But I have only seen one. Technically, I've seen two, but those are like the same two. Boom! We're there. We're there. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. Oh, there is a gem there. There is a gem there. There's a green gem. Also, somebody apped me again. Is it someone important? Nope. Nope, it's not. We don't care. Just a check. I just want to make sure when I get like things and information that nobody perished, for example. It's not like important. Sometimes I don't check it all. But if I'm aware and awake behind my computer. What the fuck? I don't know why I clicked the ones there. They knew people died there too. There's like they placed a platform there. That's the first time that's really better. That I've never missed that. Oh my god, I had like the most delicious fucking burger today. It is insane. I went to like not the usual burger joint, but I have like it's a spare burger joint basically. They call themselves Spare Rib Express, but they have also great burgers and technically chicken. And usually their burgers are fine. They're pretty good, but they're not like amazing burgers. But the thing they do is often when they send you the stuff, you get a separate burger. Right, your burger comes separated, like in like some aluminum foil. And I noticed that they had like a new option, a new burger. It was like not the most expensive one. No, wait, it was the most expensive. But it's fine because to order there you have to spend $20 anyway. So I just ordered the menu, and like a little cup of applesauce, and I get 20. So that makes it. I was thinking too much about my burger. And this burger is made from spare rib meat. So it's not the standard burger meat. And I didn't notice that because when I was unpacking the burger, it just looked like a normal burger. But when I bit into it, it's not like a regular, it was made from spare rib meat. It was so like moist and tasty. It was so good. Like the entire burger, and then it was like they give you like a bowl of Tabasco to make it like spicy to your whim, but it was not like insane Tabasco. So I just added like a little bit on it for the flavor and for a little bit of spice. I don't like my food to be too spicy, but a little spice is really nice. And I like the flavor of that. Tabasco has a good flavor. So I added that on it. There was already like a cocktail sauce on it, I think. And then like fresh lettuce, fresh tomato, like fresh buns. Oh my god, it was the buns were soft. I love soft burger buns. Oh, it was so good. But the buns were not too soft, but like soft enough, right? I kind of want to practice to get that jam. I know I should, but the gem is now distracting me. But it was like a great meal. It was a fantastic, fantastic meal. And I like applesauce. Applesauce is a great dessert. Great dessert for you. And it was like a baguette with like spiced butter. It's nice. Okay, let's focus. There we go, there we go, there we go. There is the coin. I don't know if that's a coin. I fucking fucked that up completely. I don't know if that's a coin. It doesn't like sound as a coin, but it kind of also does. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see at the end. It's not very hard to grab that one either. I don't think there's any other gems that I've seen in Because sometimes you're like you have to like do like 3 gems for a coin, for example, right? That is a thing they sometimes do. But I only seen the one. There's only 1 gem. Either that or I'm blind. That might also be the thing. Oh, went way too high there. But it's fine. Saved it. Pay attention, pay attention. Kirby, hello Shay, hello Shay. Yeah, that's the only green gem. There's no other one. Welcome back. If I get past that fucking yellow orb, I'm making it. I'm pretty confident. I'm confident. Nice confident. Okay. Let's do this. We're so close. Now Annie is here, so we gotta do it. We gotta show off my amazing, flawless geometry. Squirby, because it's a square. I hope so. I definitely hope so. I've been on this level for way longer than I was expecting. I hate the flashbangs in that part. Okay, here. What happened there? Did I miss an orb? I guess I must have missed an orb. I was so ready for the yellow too. Like my brain was ready for the yellow orb, but I missed the orb before that. I'm so confident that if I make it past that part, I make it. Because I have like practiced the other bits that come after. None of them pose me a challenge. That's the last challenge in the game. Okay, I was not thinking. Oh yeah, oh yeah, got it. Oh, I missed that. That's a shame. Come on. I need to hold that button. Yeah, I need to hold that button there. I don't need to click. Don't click hard. Just hold it until it's paused, and then we'll see how it continues. Also, I'm sweating my balls off, and I don't know why. It's not warmer in my house, as far as I'm aware. It's just 19 degrees. Maybe it's the adrenaline from this game. Okay, that's just stupid. That one was stupid. Honestly, that one was stupid. I want to quit, but I can't because I called out Geometry Dash Hell. I cannot quit. It's Geodash Hell. I fucking have to continue until I finish this. I'm getting desperate. I might grab a little ice cream or something for a little bit and then continue. It's quite a long level, and I didn't initially realize that because it's so easy. It doesn't feel that long. Ah, scheiße, 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 scheiße. Yes, yes, come on, come on. Get it? Got it? Oh my god, I went way too early in, never mind, I died anyway. A little drink. Same drink as I had yesterday. Yesterday I hated it, and now it's like good again. It's just this specific drink, if I'm not thirsty, it just tastes like shit. But when I'm thirsty, it tastes amazing. I don't know why this specific one does that. This flavor. There we go, that's way cleaner. There we go. mean, no, let's not die here. There's no reason for us to die unless we want to get the coin. Yeah. Which I don't even know if that is a coin, and maybe it's just fluff. Maybe it doesn't mean anything. But I'm going to get it because it's easy. I mean, it makes it slightly harder. How long have I been streaming now? Only 1 hour. Okay, I was expecting it would take me about an hour, and I'm getting really close. So like, I'm getting very consistently to the wave. Like, I'm getting so consistently to this area. Need to hold there, but I don't get there often enough to fucking remind myself that I need to hold the button. That or just spam. That would probably be a trick too. But that doesn't feel as good. It's something that you can get consistently by just playing good. Go! Back to the wave! Got my fucking gem! Okay, hold the button when I get to the yellow. That doesn't work. Okay, wait, I would, but I was way too early. Okay. I was way too early. That or me holding down the button doesn't work. Oh, my thing doesn't scream up. What is it? What is what, Shay? My chat didn't scroll along, so I didn't notice your last message. Oh, my drink is so that I have like weird lemonade cubes, kinda. They're basically cubes that make water into like a flavorable lemonade, but without the fucking sugar that is in standard lemonade. Which is like good, because I do keto and I don't want to have too much sugar. This flavor is, well, it's lime. It's lime flavor. It's a very strong lime flavor. Because you have the light lime flavor, which I despise. It's not good at all. And then this is the strong lime flavor, which I do like. But I might have drunk too much of it because I used to really this was my favorite flavor, and now I'm like kind of like, huh? So I don't know what happens. Okay, I missed both coins. Oh shit. Oh, it's good. It's a practice run. If I make this one to the end, then I won't count it. I have to do it again. How do I fucking... Okay, you know what? We're going to do one more. Practice run. One more to get another attempt. A couple more attempts at the fucking double section. If I keep fucking up at the same spot and it's so annoying. That's fine. We have saved it here. That's too early. We don't actually need to go for fine. So we can practice mode anyway. I kinda wanna see if I can grab the thing with practice mode. Oh wait. Can I dive under there? Okay, I think it's just easier to hit that properly. Come on. Okay. Come on. Okay, that is maybe easier. I need to just... Yeah, that is way easier. Okay, what do I do with that yellow orb? Once again. Do I just need to look at the leftmost side? Okay, that one I just didn't get the orb. Okay. Yeah, I got it, and I don't know how. Like, there, I didn't get. What is the secret sauce? Okay, I think I'm just too overzealous and too overhyped and too scared when I get to this point. I just when the two guys kiss, then it's when the two Kirby's kiss, then I need to press the button. See, when they kiss. And then I get here, and then we just make it. This is insanely fucking bullshit easy. If I die in this second, I will be so mad. And I don't mean now. Now it's fine. Like, this is fine. I don't care. But if I die in this section in real life, I mean, when I'm doing the actual mission, not in practice mode. What was that? What? What was that game? Yeah, if you hold, it doesn't work. Okay, so that I have clarified. I need to time that. It's so hard to time. There, I did it. I want to die here. Yeah. Okay, let's try this again. And see if I can time it on the music. Okay. Nope. I'm gonna just keep going. I don't want that to be randomized. I just want to nail that every single time. I mean, okay, I can spam. That does actually work. Okay. It doesn't always. Like I. Okay. Yeah, spamming works. Weirdly, spamming works. This doesn't feel as good. Oh, holding does work. Wait. I just need to hold so fucking early. But there, it doesn't work. Like, I must be doing something wrong earlier on. Because sometimes I feel like my characters just aren't lined up, and other times I feel like they are lined up. There they are lined up, right? Like, there they are. Do I hit, like, the thing, like, slightly, like, that comes before that? Kind of? I think that's it. I think it's not the yellow that I hit late. It is the fucking the orb before that like shoots you down. But there I had it on time. And then we get it. And I get this. Will I now make it? Can I do this? This is obviously practice mode, this one doesn't count. There we go, fine. Let's quit practice mode. And we'll go again. Alright, this is the one. This is the one. It's gotta be the fucking one. Or the next 3 or 4. Yes, point. See if we can get gem too. Yes. Oh yeah, the dive under there works way better. Okay, let's see if we get this. Got it? Okay. We can do this. We can do this. Yes. Almost there. No! 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 Ah, just at the end. That was the last bit. Ah, like that is like not that hard too. I just fucking my heart went too high. I knew I obviously have to end. I obviously have to die right before the end. Because the last like 10% is just a cinematic. Like the last 10% is a cinematic, like that was like dead, basically. Oh. Oh. Okay. We can do this. We can do this. You're now stuck here with me, Jamie. You cannot leave. You're stuck now. Haha, I tricked you. It's Geometry Dash Hell. You're gonna stick with me until I finish. Someone in your buzz in a that is insane. Do you know Wush is cosplayed as? I'm curious. Oh, the radio demon? Oh, nice. Alistar. Interesting. Is there a convention today? I mean, it must have ended then, if there was one. Maybe there was like a Comic-Con or something going on. Because woman, I would have said so hard. Oh, I'm not in the fucking public transport enough to meet these type of people. But holy shit, I would say hi. Like, like, the reason why I dare is because I know it's my type of person, right? Like that. Those are my type of people, so I know I can say hi. Okay. Coin. Boom. There we go. Oh, fuck. I'm too greedy. I want both coins. some guy was on FaceTime and turned the camera at her, and I stared at him down with an angry look, and then he started to uncomfortable and stop. Base, Jamie. That's my baby girl. That's my baby girl. Keeping women from keeping women safe from men once again. You are. Oh, I fucking missed the coin. Well, it doesn't matter. I died anyway. That one I didn't even get to that explosion. It just fucking moved into death. You're more like a fucking death knight for men. You need to like get balls, Jamie. You need to get balls. You need to like take some inspiration after Nari. The moment Nari became girl, she just was like, you know what, I'm just gonna ask somebody out. I don't fucking give a damn. I'm fucking confident. I never had that as a man. Now as a woman, I'm just like, fuck that shit. I'm just asking people out. She also thought they were not gay anyway, so I get it, no. But like, I don't care. Now we got the coin. There we go. That's better. Okay. Exactly. You're not even asking her out. You just want to talk. You just want to spend. Yeah, exactly. You just want to tell her at the cosplay school and that she is looks amazing and yeah. You want to just compliment her. Just go for it. You know the gopher, and then it. Yeah, go for it. It's like the oldest fucking meme in the universe of memes. Still a great meme though. It's one of the better memes. It's like, why not? The Pokemon, why not? Why not? To be fair, I don't mind having to do this one over and over again because the fucking song is so popular. There we go, coiny coin. Whoop, whoop. I mean, if she's like not interested in talking, she shows you. Like that's girls usually show that when they're not like interested in chatting. So and then you're just like, okay, it's fine. Like, oh, nice or not nice. I don't know what you prefer, honestly. If you prefer Julianne's succulent arms or your nice little bed all for yourself. I can imagine both have merits. Okay. I got really close once, and now I've not hit the thing that I really wanted to hit. It's insane. Come on. Okay, that one went completely wrong. I'll have. Oh, it doesn't matter if you're with Julianne or alone. Like you have that problem anyway. I'd assume it would have been a lot less. There we go. Don't put that. Now we go. Oh yeah, I guess so. There we go. We got that coin too. If that is a coin, I don't know. We'll find out. Okay, we get another shot. Nope, we don't get another shot. Satch. Satch. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. This takes so long to get back to that. Well, welcome home. Welcome home, baby. I can't believe that I died right at the end. Oh my god, that is so soul crushing. Oh. Oh, hit that little ledge. That was really clean though for the rest. That wasn't. Time is it almost 10? Come on, I should be able to do this before 10. I did too many. I should probably practice that actually, so I can get that more consistent. But, Or I should just dive back up, but I feel like this is safer. It's just that I like the beginning so well in my pocket. Because it's, to be fair, it is very easy. It's like only a couple hard parts. There we go. We got it. We got it. Okay, another shot, another shot. Okay, see you in a bit, James. Nope, we don't get another shot. Flip my dip, dip my flip. Flip a dip a dip dip. Oh wait, I did realize that holding works. But it's... Oh wait, I realized it was like I don't hit the first one properly. Which causes me to be slightly off. Which causes somehow that orb to not be in the right position. I can't believe that the level creator didn't notice that. That seems like an oversight. That seems like a level oversight. Especially with how like the difficulty of the rest of the level is incredibly consistent, and then that is like an insane spike of difficulty. Like other than the wave coin, I guess, but the wave coin is fine. I'm just stupid. Could this be it? Is this the one? Is this the one, guys? I do love how the fucking how the ball section floats there. Feels really good. There we go. Get another shot, hopefully. Yes. Come on, come on, come on. Let's go! Yes! Yes! Okay! Now not die. Okay, okay, we're almost there. Yes! 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 Oh! Is that 2 coins? I don't know. I don't know if that gem was worth it or not. We'll find out now. Oh, it was not! Okay, there's more. There's more. I probably need to find another gem. The gem was not worth it. There is another way to get something. But it's fine. Ah. I'll take these. I'll take these. That was a good level, to be fair. That was a pretty good level. We'll upvote that. And then we'll go back, claim that, and then we get another... This one doesn't count for the Geodash hell. Geodash hell is over now. I just gotta check this one out. This is should be quite an easy level for me to do. But it's mostly checking out and see how easy. Okay. But I can do that. I can do this so far. Oh, my heart! Boom, 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 is now calming down. Oh, that's so weird. Oh, that I could have just not. That's a not hitter. Okay, okay, okay. So we will see. I see where the difficulty lies. It's just flipping the level around. Ah. Oh, yeah. Flip. Okay. 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 I get it. I get it now. Okay, maybe I'm going to read after this. I'm just scouting. This is mostly just scouting. Because I'll do this level too. Because I do the ones that are around my difficulty level. That I like find fun. This one seems pretty fun. Too early. Do you find it just as a hold? They do kind of warn you to just hold. Okay. It scouts better with practice mode. This is such a fucking pretty level. Oh. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yes. Okay, 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 okay. This is a... Okay, 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 okay. I'm getting it. Okay. I made it, Jamie. We did it. You just missed it. You missed the finish. Okay, that's the worst. That's the worst spot to fucking put that. There we go. Okay, okay, okay. This is a very fun mate level. Holy crap. And it's not too difficult. Okay. Oh, that's so weird. That's so weird. No, no, that's so weird. Oh, that's so weird. Oh, that's so weird. Oh, this is weird. Oh, no, this is so weird. Oh, this is wildly weird. Oh, that is so funny. Oh, oh, is that it? Is that already? Oh, that's it. That's it. Okay, okay, okay. Maybe I can actually do this. Maybe I could just fucking first attempt this now. I don't think so. Like the parts where you go like down each level, that is pretty tricky. The rest is like easy, but that like the specific bit is like quite tricky. Helps so much to scout. There we go. That's the one I was expecting to die at. I want to say yes, but I know what I have stated before, so I'm... No, I guess it's not. I'm very happy that I make you think about me when you're farting. True and real, Jamie. It's just based. You're kind of based for doing that. Honestly, kind of based. I probably would. I don't need to jump there. Jamie, we are the weirdest friends, and I love you for that. We are so weird, and it's so amazing. I don't need to jump there. Why give me? I get drop. You just like let myself droppy, a little droppy. I mean, true. But it's fine. I like the image that I create for myself. Too early. Oh, that was almost it. I think after that I like nail it. That's just like this was a really easy but really fun one. I have this in like a desert depth. Um. I guess this is the daily of this day, because technically the other daily was the daily from the previous day. But this one is how long am I working on it? Where's my time? Oh, it's only 2 hours playing Geodash. It's not that long. Oh, it's early? That's way too early. Usually I don't do 2 Geodash levels on a day, but hi. If they give you a freebie like this, then sure. We'll fucking nail it. It's very good music thing too. Oh, you have to jump there. Oh, do I drop? I think I dropped there. Drop and then jump. Okay. Because the last time I like kind of fluffed that. Uh, I fluffed that one. It is very ADHD coded, right? Yeah. It's a nice song. Oh, fuck, I cannot jump there. I cannot jump there. Nari, you fucking... I know you want to jump. You really want to jump. Your ADD brain was like, please, you have to jump there, but you don't. Don't jump, Nari. That's the no jumping zone. As much as you really want to press the button, you cannot press the button, okay? I died. I jumped too late there. It has a bit of a Nuncat vibe. Yeah, I can hear that. That was too early. And I knew that. It's also really nice that you can jump on each of the little dots. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. There we go. No jumpies. Only when jumpy is necessary. This is also so fucking fun. Look at this. Oh, feels so good. There we go. And now we have the weird shit. And if I survive this, we finished. And I think we do. That's like a little fight. And there we go. Told you, this was an easy one. There is a coin. I've not seen a coin, so I'm not gonna get it because I have no clue where to find that. But yeah, another one done. Lame, and that's no more daily levels until like 2 hours from now. And I finished the quest, which is nice. And that's Geodash for today. What else do I have on the planning? I kind of want to read a book. It's one of my main things. I might start ahead with Artemis Fowl again, and hopefully have like people join it. I probably need to change the title though, because as much as I really love this title, it's really funny. Maybe I can get some people in if I like am reading a book. This can go down. We don't need that. But I don't know. I might need to stop streaming for YouTube because I don't think YouTube really likes it if I stream copyrighted content. Because technically, reading a book is copyrighted content. Um, can I like add? Oh yeah, I can. I need to send people. I need to keep sending people to my Twitch because well, there is nobody on YouTube anyway, so I don't need to really do that. But like, if there is people like peek in, then they can like be sent to Twitch. That would be nice. Um, where did I put my book? That is the. Oh, I have it here. It's still here on my desk. This is the book that I want to read. Jamie is already familiar with this. Um, it's Artemis Fowl. It's made by Ian Colfer, which is because I did the book wrong way around. Yeah, it's going to be for you unreadable because it's. I like to look at myself mirrored because that's how you see yourself in the mirror. So that's for me. It helps that side is also that side, and for me that helps that side is also that side. Otherwise, I'm confused. So I put my camera always mirrored, so I know there's the cam and stuff like that. That does mean that you cannot read the title. It's Ian Colfer. Now, honestly, I'm going to just keep YouTube up and we'll see how it works. And if YouTube mutes my entire vault, then so be it. I'll just cut it all out. If YouTube is like, you're gonna do that, I'll just like, okay, sure, I'll cut it out. There's a giant bit of Geometry Dash that will probably be fine. So, is there a category for book? Is there a book? Is there a book category? Like I just put on books. Is there? Oh, that's a puzzle game. No. Reading? Is there a reading fun? I guess there is a reading fun category, which has literally one viewer right now. So we'll pop ourselves into there. I can't. Honestly, I would love to, but Twitch will literally ban me if it's smut. I genuinely would otherwise, but Twitch will ban you if it's smut. And so would YouTube. I'm pretty confident. Because I can do really good smut voice, right? Like, let's turn it on to this. Yeah, I will maybe do a smut book. If you have like a great smut lesbian book, then I will read it. I don't know any. Like, but I'm open to suggestions, and I will do them on stream. Not on stream, on Discord stream. Then they're like private streams. Oh yeah, 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 sure. Because I've looked into I'm not kidding. I have looked into lesbian stories, and I would love to have like a beautiful fantasy lesbian story. Um, the problem is it's mostly either super smutty, which is like I want also story. I just want like the smut to be part of the story. Kind of what I'm writing, right? Like I'm writing Nari, which will have some smut, but it's mostly the story, but there will be smut in the story. Um, or um or there is a problem that I don't know what the fuck I'm reading. Like the writer does not take other people into consideration when writing their book, and like I have no clue what I'm reading. Now the question is, do I just do it like this? Do I put the cam like this, or do I so people cannot read along because it's fucking mirrored anyway? Or do I just keep it on my face where I'm just constantly looking like this? I'm just looking down. I feel like I'm just gonna. I want a smut fancy book where it's a princess ex knight and the knight is secretly a woman. I would literally lose my mind. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I would love that, and I might write something like that in the future because that's just what girls. This is what lesbians want. Okay, like the femme lesbians, they just want like a sexy knight that is a woman. Okay, I want a knight woman. I fucking. Oh, okay, sure. You write it. You write it. I'm not stealing you. You write it. You write that. Okay, I'm fine. That's fine. Um, Annie, are you still watching, by the way? You would make me blush. You would absolutely. I would be like, because I kind of want to like Annie. Annie was like, I'm interested into like listening to you read, so I'm curious if she's still here. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Um, My reading comprehension, not always the best. English is not my native language, obviously, and I make mistakes because I'm dyslexic as fuck. So sometimes I have to read over new things and things that I've already read. This is a friend of mine, and that's like the friend of Maga. Maga, I told you about her. It's the one with the Yuri tag, where I was like, "Oh my God, you like Yuri?" And I was like, "Oh yes, oh." She's great. She's great. I love her. Yeah, very based. So we start off with the prologue, and I'm not gonna skip the prologue because the prologue is kind of important. It does like a little bit of an introductionary of like Artemis Fowl. Let's start. Go. How does one describe Artemis Fowl? Various psychiatrists have tried and failed. The main problem is Artemis's own intelligence. He bamboozles every test thrown at him. He has puzzled the greatest medical minds and sent many of them gibbering to their own hospitals. There is no doubt that Artemis is a child prodigy, but why does someone of such brilliance dedicate himself to criminal activities? This is a question that can be answered by only one person, and he delights in not talking. Perhaps the best way to create an accurate picture of Artemis is to tell the by now famous account of his first villainous venture. I have put together this report from first-hand interviews with the victims, and as the tale unfolds, you will realize that this was not easy. The story began several years ago. At the dawn of the 21st century, Artemis Fowl had devised a plan to restore his family fortune, a plan that could topple civilizations, plunge the planet into a cross-species war, and he was only 12. Chapter 1, the book. Ho Chi Minh City. In the summer, sweltering by anyone's standards. Needless to say, Artemis Fowl would have not been willing to put up with such discomfort if not something extremely important had not been at stake. Important to the plan. Sun did not suit Artemis. He did not look well in it. Long hours indoor in front of monitors had bleached the glow from his skin. He was white as a vampire and almost testy in the light of day. I hope this is not another wild goose chase, Butler, he said, his voice soft and clipped, especially after Cairo. It was a gently rebuke. They had traveled to Egypt on the word of Butler's informant. No, sir. I'm certain this time. Jürgen is a good man. Groaned Artemis, unconvinced. Passerby would have been amazed to hear the large Eurasian refer to the boy as Sir. This was, after all, the third millennium, but this was no ordinary relationship, and these were no ordinary tourists. They were sitting outside the Curbshire Cafe on Dong Kai Street, watching the local teenagers circle the square on mopeds. Nugent was late, and the pathetic patch of shade provided by the umbrella was doing little to improve Artemis' mood. But this was just his daily pessimism. Beneath the silk was a spark of hope. Could this trip actually yield results? Would they find the book? It was too much to hope for. A waiter scurried to their table. More tea, Fuzz? He asked, his head bobbling furiously. Artemis sighed. Spare me the theatrics and sit down. The waiter turned instinctively to Butler, who was, after all, the adult. But sir, I am the waiter. Artemis tapped on the table for attention. You are wearing handmade loafers, a silk shirt, and 3 gold signet rings. Your English has a tinge of Oxford about it, and your nails have the soft sheen of the recently manicured. You are not a waiter. You are our contact. Nguyen Juan. And you have adopted this pathetic disguise to discreetly check for weaponry. Nguyen's shoulders sagged. It is true. Amazing. Hardly. A ragged apron does not make a waiter. Nguyen said, pouring some mint tea into a china cup. Let me fill you in on the weapon status, Artemis continued. I am unharmed, but Butler here, my butler, has a 6-hour in his shoulder holster, 2 shike throwing knives into his boots, a deranged 2-shot up his sleeve, a garrote wire in his watch, and 3 stun grenades concealed in various pockets. Anything else, Butler? The kosh, sir. Ah, yes. A good old ball-bearing kosh stuffed down his shirt. Jürgen brought the cup trembling to his lips. Don't be alarmed, Miss Juan, smiled Artemis. The weapons will not be used on you. Jürgen didn't seem reassured. No, Artemis continued. Butler could kill you 100 different ways without the use of his armory, though I'm sure one would be quite sufficient. Jürgen was now thoroughly spooked. Artemis generally had that effect on people. A pale adolescent speaking with the authority and the vocabulary of a powerful adult. Jürgen has heard the name Fowl before. Who hadn't in the international underworld? But he assumed he'd be dealing with Artemis Sr., Not this boy, though the word boy hardly seemed to do its gaunt individual justice. And the giant, Butler, it was obviously he could snap a man's backbone like it's a twig with those mammoth hands. Jungen was starting to think that no amount of money was worth another second, another minute in this strange company. And now on to business, Artemis Fowl said, placing a micro recorder on the table. You answered our web advertisement. Jürgen nodded, suddenly praying his information was accurate. Yes, Master Fowl. What you're looking for, I know where it is. Really? And I'm supposed to take your word for this? You could be walking me straight into an ambush. My family is not without enemies, you know. Butler snatched the mosquito right out of the air beside his employee's ear. Oh, no, no, said Nugent, reaching for his wallet. Here, look. Artemis studied the Polaroid. He willed his hard to maintain a calm beat. It seemed promising, but anything could be fake these days with a PC and a flatbed scanner. The picture showed a hand reaching from a layered shadow, a mottled green hand. He murmured. Explain. This woman, she is a healer. Near to Doe Street. She works in exchange for rice wine, all the time drunk. Artemis nodded. It made sense. Drinking. One of the few consistent facts his research had unearthed. He stood smoothing his creases from his white polo shirt. Very well. Lead on, Mr. Nugent. Nugent wiped his sweat from his stingy mustache. Information only. That was the agreement. I don't want any curses on my head. Butler expertly gripped the informant behind the neck. I'm sorry, Mr. Nugent, but the time where you had a choice in matters is long past. Butler steered the protesting Vietnamese to a rented four-wheel drive that was hardly necessary on the flat streets of Ho Chi Minh City. Or Saigon, as the locals still called it. But Artemis preferred to be insulated from civilians as possible. The jeep inched forward, at painfully slow rate, made all the more excruciating by the anticipation building in Artemis's chest. He could suppress it no longer. Could he at last be at the end of their quest? After 6 false alarms across 3 continents, could this wine-sodden healer be the gold at the end of the rainbow? Artemis almost chuckled. Gold at the end of the rainbow? He'd made a joke. Now that's something that not haven't ever. That's now. Now there's something that didn't happen every day. Mopeds parted like fish in a giant shoal. There seemed to be no end to the crowds. Even the alleyways were full to bursting with vendors and hagglers. Cooks dropped fish heads into the woks of fizzing oil, and urchins threaded their way underfoot, searching for unguarded valuables. Others sat in the shade, wearing out their thumbs on Game Boys. Honestly, based. Nugent was sweating right through his khaki top. It wasn't the humidity that he was used to that. It was the whole cursed situation. He should have known better than to mix magic and crime. He made a silent promise that if he got out of this, he would change his ways. No more answering shady internet requests, and certainly no more consorting with the sons of European crime lords. The jeep could only go so far, though. Eventually, the side streets grew too narrow for the full rear drive. Artemis turned to Nugent. It seems we must proceed on foot, Mr. Nugent. Run if you like, but expect a sharp and fatal pain between your shoulder blades. Nugent glanced into Butler's eyes. They were deep blue, almost black. There was no mercy in those eyes. Don't worry, he said. I won't run. I think he's getting like a new accent every fucking time, by the way. He's not very important, so we don't need to make his accent very consistent. They climbed down the vehicle. 1,000 suspicious eyes followed their progress. Along the steaming alley, An unfortunate pickpocket attempted to steal Butler's wallet. The man's servant broke the man's fingers without looking down. They were given a wide berth after that. The alley narrowed to a rutted lane. Sewage and drain pipes fed directly onto the muddy surface. Cripples and beggars huddled on rice-mat aisles. Most of the residents of this lane had nothing to spare, with the exception of three. Well, demanded Artemis, where is she? Eugen jabbed a finger towards a black triangle beneath a rusted fire escape. There, under there. She never comes out, even to buy rice spirits. She sends a runner. Now, can I go? Artemis didn't bother answering. Instead, he picked his way across the puddled lane to the lee of the fire escape. He could discern few furtive movements in the shadows. Butler, could you hand me the goggles? Butler took a set of night vision glasses from his belt and placed them on Artemis's outstretched hand. The motor buzzed to suit the light. Artemis fixed the glasses to his face. Everything became radioactive green. Taking a deep breath, he turned his gaze to the squirming shadows. Something squatted on the raffia mat, shifting uneasily in the almost non-existent light. Artemis fine-tuned the focus. The figure was small, abnormally so, wrapped in a filthy shawl. Empty jugs were half buried in the mud around her. One forearm poked from the material. It seemed green, but then so did everything else. Madam, he said, I have a proposition for you. The figure's head wobbled sheepily. Why? She rasped, her voice like nails on a school board. Why in English? Artemis smiled. The gift of tongues. Aversion to light. Check. Check. Irish, actually. Now, about my proposition. The healer shook a bony finger craftily. Wine fast, then talk. Butler. The bodyguard reached into his pocket and drew out a half-pint of the finest Irish whiskey. Artemis took the bottle and held it teasingly beyond the shadows. He barely had time to remove his goggles when he saw a claw-like hand darted from the gloom to snatch the whiskey. A mottled green hand. There was no doubt. Artemis swallowed his triumphant grin. Pay our friend Butler, in full. And remember, Mr. Nugent, this is between us. You don't want Butler to come back now, do you? No, no, Master Fowl. My lips are sealed. They had better be, or Butler will seal them permanently. Nugent skipped off down the alley, so relieved to be alive that he didn't even bother counting the sheaf of US currency. Most unlike him. In any event, it was all there, all $20,000. Not bad for half an hour's of work. Artemis turned back to the healer. Now, madam, you have something I want. The healer's tongue caught a drop of the alcohol at the corner of her mouth. Yes, Irish. So it. That tooth. I heal. Artemis replaced the night vision goggles and squatted to her level. No, I'm perfectly healthy, madam. Apart from a slight dust mite allergy. Though, I don't think that even you can do anything about that. No. What I want from you is your book. The hag froze. Bright eyes glinted from beneath the shawl. A book? She said cautiously. I don't know about any book. I'm healer. You want book? Go to library. Artemis sighed with an exaggerated patience. You are no healer. You are sprite, Thork, fairy, Caledon, whichever language you prefer to use, and I want your book. For a long moment the creature said nothing. Then she threw back the shawl from her forehead and the green glow of the night vision goggles, her features leaped at Artemis like a Halloween's mask. The fairy's nose was long and crooked, and under two slitted gold eyes, her ears were pointed, and the alcohol addiction had melted her skin like putty.
Then if you know about the book, human,
She said slowly, finding the numbing effects of the whiskey.
then you know about my magic. I have it in my fist. I can kill you with the snap of my fingers.
Artemis shrugged. I think not. Look at you. You are near dead. The rice wine has dulled your senses, reduced to healing warts. Pathetic. I'm here to save you, and in return for the book.
What could a human want with our book?
That is of no concern to you. All you need to know is what your options are. The sprite pointed her ears.
Options? 1. You refuse to give the book.
Oh, 1. You refuses to give the book, and we go home, leaving you to rot in the sewer.
Yes, said Fairy. I choose this option.
Ah? No. Don't be so eager. If we leave without the book, you will be dead in a day.
A day? A day? I will outlive you by a century. Even fairies tethered to the human realm can survive the ages.
Well, not with half a pint of holy water inside of them, said Artemis, tapping the now empty whiskey bottle. The fairies blanched and screamed, a high, keening, horrible sound.
Holy water! You have murdered me, human!
Does it pick that up, by the way? I go really high for that. um, True, admitted Artemis. I should start to burn. It should start to burn any minute now. The fairy poked her stomach tentatively.
What about the second option?
Listening now. Very well then. Option 2. You give me the book for 30 minutes only. Then I return your magic to you. The sprite jaw dropped.
Return my magic? Not possible.
Oh, but it is. I have in my possession 2 ampules. One is a vial of the spring water of the fairy well 60 meters below the Ring of Terra, possibly the most magical place on Earth. This will counteract the holy water.
And the other?
The other is a little shot of man-made magic, a virus that feeds on the alcohol mixed with a growth reagent. It will flush every drop of rice wine from your body, remove the dependence, and even bolster your failing liver. It'll be messy, but after a day you'll be sipping around as if you were 1,000 years old again. The sprite licked her lips to be able to rejoin the people. Tempting.
How do I know to trust you, human? You have tricked me once already.
Good point. Here's the deal. I give you the water on faith. Then, after I had the book, you get the booster. Take it or leave it. The fairy considered. The pain was already curling around in her abdomen. She thrust out her wrist.
I take it.
I thought you might. Butler. The giant manservant unwrapped a soft velcroed case containing a syringe gun and 2 vials. He loaded the clear one, shooting it into the sprite's clammy arm. The fairy stiffened momentarily and then relaxed.
Strong magic,
she breathed. Yes, but not as strong as your own will be when I give you the second injection. Now, the book, please. The sprite reached into the folds of her filthy robe, rummaging for an age. Artemis held his breath. This was it. Soon the Fowls would be great again. A new empire would rise, with Artemis Fowl II at his head. The fairy woman withdrew a closed fist.
No use to you anyway. Written in an old tongue.
Artemis nodded. not trusting himself to speak. He, she opened her knobby fingers. Lying in her palm was a tiny golden volume, the size of a matchbox.
Here, human. 30 minutes. No more.
Butler took the tiny tome reverentially. The bodyguard activated a compact digital camera and began photographing each wafer-thin page of the book. The process took several minutes. When he was finished, the entire volume was stored on a camera chip. Artemis preferred to not take chances with information. The airport security equipment has been known to wipe many a vital disk, so he instructed his aide to transfer the files to his portable phone and from there email it to the Fowl Manor in Dublin. By the way, this was all in written around the 2000s, so smartphones and shit did not exist back then. So it sounds very dubious because yeah, you could just upload this to the cloud. But this is like an early version of the cloud. Before the 30 minutes were up, the file containing every symbol in the fairy book was sitting safely in the Fowl server. Artemis returned the tiny volume to its owner. Nice doing business with you. The sprite lurched to her knees.
The other potion, human.
Artemis smiled. Oh, yes, the restoring booster. I suppose I did promise.
Yes, human promised.
Very well, but before we administer it, I must warn you that the purging is not pleasant. You're not going to enjoy this one bit. The fairy gestured around the squalid field she was laying in.
You think I enjoy this? I want to fly again.
Butler loaded the second vial, shooting this one straight into the cartridge artery. The sprite immediately collapsed on the mat, her entire frame quivering violently. Time to leave, commented Artemis. 100 years of alcohol leaving a body by any means possible. That's not going to be a pretty sight. The butlers have been serving the fowls for centuries. It always been the way. Indeed, there were several eminence of linguists of this option. This is, by the way, new paragraph. The butlers have always been serving the fowls for centuries. It always has been that way. Indeed, there were several eminent linguists of the opinion that this was how the noun originated. The first record of this unusual arrangement was when Virgil Butler had been contracted as a servant, bodyguard, and cook for Lord Hugo de Fowl for one of the great Norman Crusades. By the age of 10, Butler children were sent to a private training center in Israel, where they were taught the specialized skill necessary to guard the latest in fowl line. These skills include cordon bleu cooking, marksmanship, and a customized blend of martial arts, emergency medicine, and information technology. If at the end of their training there was not a fowl to guard, then the butlers were eagerly snapped up as bodyguards for various royal personages, generally in Monaco or Saudi Arabia. Once a fowl and a butler were put together, though, they were paired for life. It was a demanding job and lonely, but the rewards were handsome. If you survived to enjoy them, oh, the rewards were handsome if you survived to enjoy them. If not, then your family received a 6-figure settlement plus a monthly pension. The current butler has been guarding young master Artemis for 12 years, since the moment of his birth. And though they adhered to the age-old formalities, they were much more than master and servant. Artemis was the closest thing Butler had to a friend, and Butler was the closest thing Artemis had to a father, albeit one who obeyed orders. Butler held his tongue until they were aboard the Heathrow connection from Bangkok, and then he had to ask, Artemis. Artemis looked up from his screen of his power book. He was getting a head start on the translation. Yes. The sprite. Why didn't we simply keep the book and leave her to die? A corpse is evidence, Butler. My way, the people will have no reason to be suspicious. But the sprite, I hardly think she will confess to showing humans the book. In any case, I mixed a slight amnesiac into her second injection. When she finally wakes up, the last week will be a blur. Butler nodded appreciatively. Always 2 steps ahead. That was Master Artemis. People said he was a chip of the old block, but they were wrong. Master Artemis was a brand new block, the likes of one which has never been seen before. Daub-Sassuaged, Butler returned to his copy of Guns and Ammo, leaving his employer to unravel the secrets of the universe. Chapter 2! Chapter 2. It's about half an hour per chapter. Is everybody enjoying it so far? Is my voice well hearable? Even if I do the
Weird little rambling witch voice.
Okay, perfect, perfect. That's good to hear. Ah, well, chapter 2, translation. By now, you must have guessed just how far Artemis Fowl was prepared to go in order to achieve his goal. But what exactly was this goal? What outlandish scheme would involve the blackmailing of an alcohol-addicted sprite? The answer was gold. Artemis' search had begun 2 years previously, when he first became interested in surfing the internet. He quickly found the more arcane sites, alien abductions and UFO sightings, and the supernatural, but most specifically, wait, okay, I read that correctly, but most specifically the existence of the people. Trawling through gigabytes of data, he found hundreds of references to fairies from nearly every country in the world. Each civilization had its own term for the people. Oh, Jamie, a clean Jamie bar. Each civilization had its own term for the people, but they were undoubtedly members of the same hidden family. Several stories mentioned a book carried by each fairy. It was their Bible, containing, as it allegedly did, the history of their entire race and the commandments the government that governed their extended lives. Of course, this book was written in Gnomish, the fairy text, and would be of no use to any human. Artemis believed that with today's technology, the book could be translated, and with this translation, you, you could begin to exploit a whole new group of creatures. Know thine enemy was Artemis's motto, so he immersed himself into the lore of the people until he had compiled a huge database on their characteristics. But it wasn't enough. So Artemis put out a call on the web. Irish businessmen will pay large amounts of US dollars to meet fairy, sprite, leprechaun, or pixie. The responses had been mostly fraudulent, but in Ho Chi Minh City had paid off. Artemis was perhaps the only person alive who could take full advantage of this recent acquisition. He still retained a childlike belief in magic, tempered by an adult determination to exploit it. If there was anybody capable of retrieving some of the fairies of their magical gold, it was Artemis Fowl II. It was early morning before they reached the Fowl Manor. Artemis was anxious to bring up the file on his computer, but first he decided to call in on Mother. Angeline Fowl was bedridden. She had been since her husband's disappearance. Nervous tension. The physician said nothing but rest and sleeping pills, but that was almost a year ago. Butler's little sister, Juliet, was sitting at the foot of the stairs. Her gaze was boring a hole in the wall. Even the glitter mascara couldn't soften her expression. Artemis had seen that look already, before Juliet had suplexed a particular cheeky pizza boy. The suplex Artemis Goddard was a wrestling move, an unusual obsession for a teenage girl. But then again, she was, after all, a butler. Problems, Juliet? Juliet sighed hurriedly. My own fault, Artemis. Apparently I left a gap in the curtain. Mrs. Fowl couldn't sleep. Hmm, Artemis muttered, scaling the oak staircase slowly. He was worried about his mother's condition. She hadn't seen the light of day in a long time now. Then again, should she miraculously recover, emerging revitalized from her bedchamber, it would be a signal. It would signal the end of Artemis's extraordinary freedom. It will be back to school and no more spearheading criminal enterprises for you, my lad. So he knocked gently on the arched double doors. Mother, are you awake? Something smashed against the other side of the door. It sounded expensive.
Of course I'm awake. How can I sleep in this blinding glare?
Artemis ventured inside. Antique four-poster bed threw shadowy spines in the darkness, and a pale sliver of light poked through the gap in the velvet curtains. Angeline Fowl sat hunched on the bed, her pale limbs glowing white in the gloom. Artemis, darling, where have you been? Artemis sighed. She recognized him. That was a good sign. School trip, mother. Skiing in Austria. Ah, skiing, groaned Angeline. How I miss it. Maybe when your father returns. Artemis felt a lump in his throat. Most uncharacteristic. Yes, perhaps when father returns. Darling, could you close those wretched curtains? The light is intolerable. Of course, mother. Artemis felt his way across the room, wary of the low-level clothes chests scattered around the floor. Finally his fingers curled around the velvet drapes for a moment. He was tempted to throw them wide open, but then he sighed and closed the gap. Thank you, darling. By the way, we really have to get rid of that maid. She's good for absolutely nothing. Artemis held his tongue. Juliet had been a hard-working and loyal member of the Fowl household for the past 3 years. Time to use Mother's absent-mindedness to his advantage. You're right, of course, Mother. I've been meaning to do that for some time now. Butler has a sister I believe would be the perfect for the position. I think I've mentioned her. Juliet? Angeline frowned. Juliet. Yes, that name does seem familiar. Well, anyone would be better than that silly girl we have now. When can she start? Straight away. I'll have Butler fetch her from the lodge. You're a good boy, Artemis. Now give Mummy a hug. Artemis stepped into the shadowy folds of his mother's robe. She smelled perfumed like petals in the water, but her arms were cold and weak. Oh, darling, she whispered, and sound sent goosebumps popping down Artemis' neck. I hear things at night. They crawl along the pillows and into my ears. Artemis felt that lump in his throat again. Perhaps we should open the curtains, Mother. No, his mother sobbed, releasing him from her grasp. No, because then I could see them too. Mother, please. But it was no use. Angeline was gone. She crawled into the far corner of the bed, pulling the quilt from her chin. Send the new girl. Yes, Mother. Send her with cucumber slices and water. Yes, Mother. Angeline glared at him with crafty eyes. And stop calling me Mother. I don't know who you are, but you're certainly not my little Artie. Artemis blinked back a few rebellious tears of his Of course, I'm sorry, Ma. I'm sorry. Hmm, don't come back here again, or I'll have my husband take care of you. He's a very important man, you know. Very well, Miss Fowl. It's the last you see of me. It better be. Angeline froze suddenly. Do you hear them? Artemis shook his head. No, I don't hear any. They're coming for me. They're everywhere. Angelique dived for the cover beneath the bedclothes. Artemis could still hear her terrified sobs as he descended the marble staircase. The book was proving far more stubborn than Artemis had anticipated. It seemed to be almost actively resisting him. No matter which program he ran it through, the computer came up blank. Artemis hard copied every page, tackling them to the walls of his study. Sometimes it helped to have things on paper. The script was like nothing he'd seen before, and yet it was strangely familiar. Obviously a mixture of symbolic and character-based language. The text meandered around the page with no apparent order, though. What the program needed was some frame of reference, some central point on which he could build. He separated the characters and ran comparisons with English, Chinese, Greek, Arabic, Cyrillic text, and even Ogham. Nothing. Moody with frustrations, Artemis sent Juliet scurrying when she interrupted with sandwiches, and moved on to symbols. The most frequent recurring pictogram was a small male figure. Male, he presumed, though the limited knowledge of fairy anatomy, he supposed it could be female. A thought struck him. Artemis opened an ancient language file on his power translator and selected Egyptian. At last a hit. The male symbol was remarkably similar to Anubis' god's representation on Tutankhamun's inner chamber's hieroglyphics, and this was consistent with other findings. The first written human stories were about fairies, suggesting their civilization predated man's. It would seem that the Egyptians had simply adapted an existing scripture to suit their needs. There were other resemblances, but the characters were too dissimilar enough to slip through the computer's net. It would have to be done manually. Each gnomish figure had to be enlarged, printed, and then compared with the hieroglyphs. Artemis felt excitement of success thumping inside his ribcage. Almost every fairy pictogram or letter had seemingly an Egyptian counterpart. Most were universal, such as sun or birds, but some seemed to be exclusively supernatural and had to be tailored to fit. The Anubis figure, for example, would make no sense as a god dog, so Artemis altered to read it King of Fairies. By midnight, Artemis had successfully fed his findings into the Macintosh, and all he now had to do was press decode. He did so, and what emerged was a long, intricate string of meaningless gibberish. Normally, a child would have abandoned this task long since. An average adult would have probably been reduced to slapping the keyboard, but not Artemis. This book was testing him, and he would not allow it to win. The letters were right, he was certain of it. It was just the order that was wrong. Rubbing the sleep from his eyes, Artemis glared at the pages again. Each segment was bordered by a solid line. This could represent paragraphs or chapters, but they were not meant to be read in the usual left to right, top to bottom fashion. He experimented. He tried Arabic, right to left, or the Chinese columns, but nothing worked. Then he noticed each page had one thing in common: a central section. The other pictograms were arranged around this pivotal area, so the central starting point, perhaps. But where to go from there? Artemis scanned the pages for some common factor. After several minutes he found it. On each page, a tiny spearhead cornered one in oh, A tiny spearhead in the corner of one section. Could this be an arrow, a direction? Go this way. So the theory would be start in the middle and then follow the arrow, reading in spirals. The computer program wasn't built to handle something like this, so Artemis once again had to improvise. With a crafted knife and ruler, he dissected the first page of the book and reassembled it in a traditional Western language order, left to right, parallel rows, and then he rescanned the page and fed it through the modified Egyptian translator. And I can show you how it looks. It looks like, oh, the camera is not picking that up. It is not liking that. But basically, they're all little like hieroglyphics in like an order line. Um, you will hear the translation in a bit. The computer hummed and whirred. No, you can not see shit. My camera is not that good. Converting all the information to binary. Several times it stopped to ask for confirmation of a character or symbol. This happened less and less as the machine learned the new language. Eventually, 2 words flashed on screen. File converted. Fingers shaking from exhaustion and excitement, Artemis clicked print. A single page scrolled from the laser writer. It was in English now. Yes, there were some mistakes, some fine-tuning needed, but it was perfectly legible, and more importantly, perfectly understandable. Fully aware that he was probably the first human in several millenniums to decode the magical words, Artemis switched on his desk light and began to read. Book of the People, being instructions to our magics and life rules. Carry me always, carry me well. I am thy teacher of herb and spell. I am thy link to power arcane. Forget me and thy magic shall wane. 10 times 10 commandments there be. They answer every mystery. Curses, curses, alchemy, these secrets shall be dying through me. But fairy, remember this above all. I am not for those in mud that crawl, and forever doomed shall be the one who betrays my secrets one by one. Artemis could hear the blood pumping in his ears. He had them. They would be ants beneath his feet. Their every secret would be laid bare by technology. Suddenly, the exhaustion claimed him, and he sank back in his chairs. There was so much yet to complete. 43 pages to be translated for a start. He pressed the intercom that linked him to the speakers all over the house. Butler, get Juliet and come up here. There are some jigsaws I need you to assemble. Perhaps a little family history would be useful at this point. There's a paragraph. I sometimes are very bad at splitting paragraphs. Perhaps a little family history would be useful at this point. The Fowls were indeed legendary criminals. For generations they had skirmished on the wrong side of the law, hoarding enough funds to become legitimate. Of course, once they were legitimate, they found it not to their liking and returned almost immediately to crime. It was Artemis the First, our subject's father, who had thrown the family fortune into jeopardy with the breakup of the communist Russia. Artemis Sr. had decided to invest a huge chunk of the Fowl fortune in establishing new shipping lines to the vast continent. New consumers, he reasoned, would need a new consumer goods. The Russian mafia, though, did not take too kindly to a Westerner muscling in on their market, and so decided to send a little message. This message took form of a stolen Stinger missile launched at the Fowl Star on the way past Murmansk. Artemis Sr. was on board of the ship, along with Butler's uncle and 250,000 cans of cola. It was quite an explosion. Fowls were not left destitute, far from it, but the billionaire status was no longer theirs. Artemis II vowed to remedy this. He would restore the family fortune, and he would do it in his own unique fashion. Once the book was translated, Artemis could begin planning in earnest. He already knew what the ultimate goal was. Now he could figure out how to achieve it. Gold, of course, was the objective. The acquisition of gold. It seemed that the people were almost as fond of the precious metal as humans. Each fairy had his own cache, but not for much longer if Artemis had his way. There would be at least one of the fairy folk wandering with their empty pockets by the time he'd finished. After 18 solid hours of sleep, and that's a long amount of sleep, after 18 solid hours of sleep and light continental breakfast, Artemis climbed to the study that he had inherited from his father. It was traditional enough. It was a traditional enough room, dark oak floor to ceiling shelving, but Artemis had jammed it with the latest computer technology. A series of networking Apple Macs whirred from various corners of the room. One was running CNN's website through a data protector, throwing oversized current affairs images back against the wall. Butler was already firing up the hard drives, and Artemis said, "Shut it all down, except the book. I need quiet for this." The manservant stared. The CNN site had been running for almost a year. Artemis was convinced that the news of his father's rescue would come from there. Shutting it down meant that he was finally letting go. All of them? Artemis glanced at the wall for a moment. "Yes," he said finally, "all of them." Butler took the liberty of patting the employers gently on the shoulder just once, before returning to work. Artemis cracked his knuckles. Time to do what he did best. Chapter 3. Probably my favorite chapter coming up now. This is by the way, this is the longest chapter of the book too. This is, how many pages? This is like a 60-page chapter. It's like a 30-page chapter, so it's about as long as what I've already read. So strap in. Strap in. It's probably my favorite chapter too. It's chapter 3, Holly. Holly Short was lying in bed, having a silent view. Nothing unusual about this. Leprechauns in general were not known for their geniality, but Holly was in an exceptionally bad mood, even for a fairy. Technically, she was an elf. Fairy being a general term, she was a leprechaun too, but that was just a job. Perhaps a description would be more helpful than a lecture on fairy genealogy. Holly Short had a nut brown skin, cropped auburn hair, and hazel eyes. Her nose had a hook, and her mouth was plump and cherubic, which was appropriate considering that Cupid was her great-grandfather. Her mother was a European elf with a fiery temper and a willowy figure. Holly, too, had a slim frame and long tapered fingers perfectly for wrapping around a buzz baton. Her ears, of course, were pointed at exactly 1 meter height. Holly was only 1 centimeter below the fairy average, but even 1 centimeter can make an awful lot of difference when you don't have that many to spare. Commander Root was the cause of Holly's distress. Root had been on Holly's case since day one. The commander had decided to take offense at the fact that she was the first female officer in the Reckon's history and had been assigned to his squad. Reckon was a notoriously dangerous posting, with a high fatality rate, and Ruth didn't think it was any place for a girlie. Well, he was just going to have to get used to the idea, because Holly Short had no intention of quitting for him, or anyone else for that matter. Though she'd never admit that. Another possible cause for Holly's Holly's irritability was the ritual. She had been meaning to perform it for several moons now, but somehow there was just never seemed any time for it. And Ruth found out that she was running low on magic, she would be transferred to traffic duty. Rolly rolled off her futon and stumbled into the shower. That was one of the advantages living near the Earth's core. The water was always hot. No natural light, of course, but it was a small price to pay for but that was a small price to pay for privacy underground. The last human-free zone. There was nothing like coming home for a long day on the job, switching off your shield, and sinking into a bubbling slime pool. Bliss. The fairy suited up, zipping the dull green jumpsuit up to her chin and strapping her helmet. LEP Racon. Get it? Leprechaun? LEP Racon. I'm going to type that out because I really like this name. That's the LEP Racon. And the way they translated this to the Netherlands, I also really like, because they did LFBI. Like that. ELFBI. LFBI. But LEP Recon is also cool. LFBI. I by the way mispronounced that for the longest time of my childhood, because I always said LFB. I always said LFB, and I never got that I never got as a kid that it was the LFBI. And when I wrote the English book version of it, and I read LEP Rakan, and I went back to the Dutch version, I was like, that's LFBI, that's what this... But yeah. LEP Rakan uniforms were smart these days. Not like the top of the morning costume the Force had to wear back in the old days. Buckled shoes and knickerbockers. Honestly, no wonder leprechauns were such ridiculous figures in human folklore. Still, probably better that way. If the mud people knew the word leprechaun actually originated from LEP Rakan, an elite branch of the lower elements police force, they'd probably take steps to stamp them out. Better to stay inconspicuous and let the humans have their stereotypes. With the moon rising on the surface, there was no time for proper breakfast. Holly grabbed the remains of a nettle smoothie from the cooler and drank it in the tunnels. As usual, there was chaos in the main thoroughfare. Airborne Sprite jammed the avenue like stones in a bottle. The gnomes weren't helping either, lumbering along with their big swinging behinds blocking 2 lanes. Swear-toads infested every damn patch, cursing like sailors. That particular breed began as a joke, but had multiplied into an epidemic. Someone lost their wand over that one. Holly battled through the crowd to the police station. There was already a riot outside of Sput Emporium. LAP Corporal Newt was trying to sort it out. Good luck to him. Nightmare. At least Holly got the chance to work above ground. The LAP station doors were crammed with protesters too. The goblin dwarf turf war had flared up again. Every morning, hordes of angry parents showed up demanding the release of their innocent offspring. Holly snorted. If there was an actual innocent goblin out there, Holly had yet to meet him. They were clogging up the cells now, howling gang chants and hurling fireballs at each other. Holly shuddered her way into the throng. Coming through, she grunted. Police business. They were like flies on a stinkhorn. My Grumpo is innocent! Police brutality! Officer, could you take my baby in his blankie? He can't sleep without it. Holly set her visor to reflect and ignored them all. Once upon a time, the uniform would have earned you some respect. And not anymore. Now you are the target. Excuse me, officer, but I seem to have misplaced my jar of warts. Pardon me, young elf, but my cat has climbed into a stalactite. Or, if you have a minute, Captain, could you tell me how to get to the Fountain of Youth? Holly shuddered. Tourist. She had troubles of her own, more than she knew, as if she was about to find out. In the station lobby, a kleptomaniac dwarf busy picking the pockets of everyone else in the booking line. Ah, normally it's bedtime. Yeah, it is bedtime story stream. I did start a new though, because I want like it all on stream. I'm so I hope YouTube is not kicking me, is not deleting it, because then I can like have it like all together on YouTube. That would be nice. But if YouTube is deleting it because of copyright material, I fully understand. It is technically copywritten. Um, in the station lobby, a kleptomaniac dwarf was busy picking the pockets of everyone else in the booking line, including the officer he was handcuffed to. Holly gave him a swipe. Holly gave him a swipe on the backside with her buzz baton. The electric jar singed the seat of his electric leather trousers. What you doing there, Mulch? Mulch started, contraband dropping from his sleeves. Officer Short! He whined, as his face masked of regret. I can't help myself. It's my nature. I know that, Mulch. And it's our nature to throw you in the cell for a couple of centuries. She winked at the dwarf's arresting officer. Nice seeing you staying alert. The elf blushed, kneeling to pick up his wallet and badge. Holly forged past Root's officer, hoping she would make it to her cubicle. Short, get in here! Holly sighed. Ah, well, here we go again. Stowing her helmet under her arm, Holly smoothed the creases from her uniform and stepped into Commander's Root officer. Root's face was purple with rage. This was more or less his general state of existence. The fact that had earned him the nickname Beetroot. There was an office pool running on how long he had before his heart exploded. The smart money was on half a century, at the outside. Commander Root was tapping the moonometer on his wrist. Well, he demanded, what time do you call this? Holly could feel her own face coloring. She was barely a minute late. There were at least a dozen of officers on this shift who hadn't even reported in yet. But Root always singled her out for prosecution. The thoroughfare, she mumbled lamely. There were 4 lanes down. Don't insult me with your excuses, roared the commander. You know what the city center is like. Get up a few minutes earlier. And it was true. She did know what Haven was like. Holly Short was the city elf born and bred. Since the humans began experimenting with mineral drilling, more and more fairies have been driven out of the shallow forts and into the depths and security of Haven City. The metropolis was overcrowded and underserviced, and now there was a lobby to allow automobiles and in the pedestrian city center. As if the place wasn't smelly enough already, with all those country gnomes lumbering around the place. Root was right. She could get up a little bit early. But she wouldn't. Not until everybody else was forced to. I know what you're thinking, said Root. Why am I picking on you every day? Why do not I every ball out those other layabouts? Holly said nothing, but agreement was written all over her face. I tell you why. Shall I? Holly risked a nod. Because you're a girl. Holly felt her fingers curl into a fist. She knew it! But not for the reason you think, continued Root. You are the first girl in their con. Ever. You are a test case, a beacon. There are millions of fairies out there watching your every move. There's a lot of hopes riding on you. But there is a lot of prejudice against you too. The future of law enforcement is in your hand, and at this moment, I'd say It was a little heavy. Holly blinked. Ruth has never said anything like this before. Usually it was just fix your helmet, blah blah, stand up straight, blah blah blah. You have to be the best you can, Short, and that has to be better than anyone else. Ruth sighed, sinking into his swivel chair. I don't know, Holly. Ever since that hamburger affair. Holly winced. The hamburger affair had been a total disaster. One of her perps had skipped out on the surface and tried to bargain with mud people for asylum. Ruth had to stop time and call the retrieval squad and do 4 memory wipes. A lot of police time wasted, and that was all her fault. The commander took a form from his desk. It's no use. I've made up my mind. I'm putting you on traffic duty. Bringing in Corporal Front. Front? Exploded Holly. She's a bimbo, a airhead. You can't make her the test case. Ruth's face turned even a deeper shade of purple. I can and I will. Why shouldn't I? You've never given me your best. Either that or your best just isn't good enough. Sorry, Short, but you had your chance. Commander turned back to his paperwork. The meeting was over. Holly could only stand there aghast. She'd blown it. The best career opportunity she'd ever had, likely to get tossed into the gutter. One mistake and her future was past. It wasn't fair. Holly felt an uncharacteristic anger take hold of her, but she swallowed it. This was not time to lose her temper. Commander Root, sir, I feel like I deserve one more chance. Root didn't even look up from the paperwork. And why is that? Holly took a deep breath. Because of my record, sir. It speaks for itself. Apart from the hamburger thing, 10 successful reckons, not a single memory wipe or time stop, apart from the hamburger thing, completed Root. Holly took a chance. If I were a male, one of your precious sprites, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Root glanced up sharply. Now, just a minute, Captain Short. He was interrupted by the bleeping of one of the phones on his desk, then 2, then 3. A giant vidscreen crept onto life. Behind him, Root jabbed the speaker button, putting all callers on the conference. Yes, we've got a runner. Root nodded. Anything on the scopes? Scopes was a shop name for the shrouded trackers attached to American communication satellites. Yep, said the caller 2. Big blip in Europe. Southern Italy, no shield. Root cursed. Darfit. An unshielded ferry could be seen by mortal eyes. That wasn't so bad if the perp was humanoid. Classification? Bad news, Commander, said the third caller. We've got a rogue troll. Root rubbed his eyes. Why did these things always happen on his watch? Holly could understand his frustration. Trolls were the meanest of the deep tunnel creature. They wandered the labyrinth, preying on anything unlucky enough to uncross their path. Their tiny brains had no room for rules or restraint, and occasionally one found its way into the shaft of a pressure elevator. Usually, the concentrated air current fried them, but sometimes one survived and was blasted to the surface. Driven crazy by pain and even the tiniest amount of light, they would generally proceed to destroy everything in their path. Root shook his head rapidly, recovering himself. Okay, Short. Looks like you get your chance. You're running hot, I take it? Yes, sir, said Light Holy, too aware that Root would suspend it immediately if she neglected her ritual. Good. And sign yourself out as sidearm and proceed to the target area. Holy glanced at the vidscreen. Scopes are sending high-resolution shots of an Italian fortified town. A red dot was moving rapidly through the countryside towards the human population. Do a thorough reconnaissance and report in. Do not, And I repeat, do not attempt a retrieval. Is that understood? Yes, sir. We lost 6 men to a troll attack last quarter. 6 men! And that was below ground, in familiar territory. I understand, sir. Root pursed his lips doubtfully. Do you understand, Short? Do you really? I think so, sir. Needs a drink. Root is a hard voice. Which is also the last drink I have. Shit. Have you ever seen what a troll can do to flesh and bone? No, sir. Not up close. Good. Let's not make today your first time. Understood. Root glared at her. I don't know why it is, Captain Short. I don't know why it is, Captain Short, but whenever you start agreeing with me, I get decidedly nervous. And Root was right to be nervous. And if he'd known how this straightforward reckon assignment was going to turn out, he would probably have retired then and there. Tonight's history was going to be made. Tonight, history was going to be made, and it wasn't the discovery of radium or man on the moon happy kind of history. It was the Spanish Inquisition, or here comes the Hindenburg kind of history. Bad for humans, bad for fairies, and bad for everybody else. Honestly, it's not that bad, but you will hear. Holly proceeded directly to the chutes. Her normally chatty mouth was grim slash of determination. One chance. That was it. She would allow nothing to break her concentration. There was an unusual queue of holiday visa hopefuls stretching to the corner of the elevator plaza, but Holly bypassed it by waving her badge at the waiting line. A truculent gnome refused to yield. How come you LAP guys get to go topside? What's so special about you? Holly breathed deeply through her nose. Courtesy at all times. Police business, sir. Now, if you could just excuse me. The gnome scratched his massive behind. Why do gnomes have fat asses in this fucking story? I hear you LAP guys make up your police business just to get a look at some moonlight. But that's just what I hear. Holly attempted an amused smile. What actually formed on her lips was a resemblance of a lemon-sucking grimace. Whoever told you that is an idiot, sir. Raccoon ventures only above ground when absolutely necessary. A gnome frowned, because obviously he had made up the rumor himself and suspected that Holly might just have called him an idiot. By the time he'd figured that out, she had skipped through the double doors, and Foley was waiting for her on the other side. Foley was a paranoid centaur, convinced that human intelligence agencies were monitoring his transport and surveillance network. To prevent them from reading his mind, he wore a tinfoil hat at all times. He glanced sharply when Holly entered through the pneumatics double doors. Anybody see you come in here? Holly thought about it. The FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the DEI, the MI6, oh, and the EIB. Holly frowned. The EIB? Everyone in the building, smirked Holly. Foley rose from the swiveling chair and clip-clopped over to her. Very funny, Short. A regular riot. I thought that the hamburger fair might have knocked some of the cockiness out of you. If I were you, I'd concentrate on the job at hand. Holly composed herself. He was right. Okay, Foley, fill me in. The centaur pointed to a live feed from the Eurosat, which was displayed on a large plasma screen. This red dot is a troll. He's moving towards Martina Franca, a fortified town in the city of Brescinci. As far as we can tell, he stumbled into vent E7. It was on a cooldown after a surface shot, That's why the troll isn't crispy barbecue right now. Holly grimaced. Charming, she thought. We've been lucky that our target had bumped into some food along the way. He chewed on a couple cows for an hour or two, so that bought us a little bit of time. A couple cows? Exclaimed Holly. Just how big is this fellow? Foley adjusted his foil bonnet. Bull-troll, not trout, bull troll, fully grown, 180 kilos, with tusks like a wild boar. A really, really wild boar. Holly swallowed. Suddenly, recon seemed much better job than retrieval. Right, what have you got for me? Foley cantered across the equipment table. He selected what looked like a rectangular wristwatch. Locator. You find him, we find you. Routine stuff. Video? Centaur clipped a small cylinder into the accommodating groove on Holly's helmet. Live feed, nuclear battery, no time limit. The mic is voice activated. Good, said Holly. Root said I should take a weapon on this one, just in case. Way ahead of you, said Foley. He picked a platinum handgun from the pile. A Neutrino 2000. Latest model. Even the tunnel gangs don't have these. 3 settings, if you don't mind. Scorched, well done, and crisp to a cinder. Nuclear power source too? So plug away. This baby will outlive you by 1,000 years. Holly strapped the lightweight weapon into her shoulder holster. I'm ready, I think. Doubt it, Foley chuckled. No one ever is really ready for a troll. Thanks for the confidence booster. Confidence is ignorance, advised the centaur. If you're feeling cocky, it's because there's something you don't know. Holly thought about arguing, but didn't. Maybe because she had a sneaking suspicion that Foley might be right. The pressure elevators were powered by gaseous columns vented from the Earth's core. The LEP tech boys, under Foley's guidance, had fashioned titanium eggs that could ride out on the currents. They had their own independent motors, and for an express ride to the surface, there was nothing like a blast from a tidal flare. Foley led her past a long chute of bays to E7. The pod sat in his clamp, looking very fragile to be rocketing about on the magma streams. Its underside was charred black and pockmarked from shrapnel. The centaur slapped fondly on the fender. This baby has been in service for 50 years. Oldest model still in the chutes. Holly swallowed. The chutes made her nervous enough without riding in an antique. When does it come offline? Foley scratched his hairy belly. With the funding the way it is, not until we have a fatality. Holly cramped open the heavy door, the rubber seal yielding with a hiss. The pod was not built for comfort, and there was barely enough space for a restraining seat among the jumble of electronics. What's that? Holly pointed at a grayish stain on the seat's headrest. Foley shuffled uncomfortably. Brain fluid, I think. We had a pressure leak on the last mission, but that's all plugged now. And the officer lived. Down a few IQ points, but alive. And he could still take few liquids. Well, that's all right then, quipped Holly, threading her way through the mass of wires. Holly strapped the harness onto her, checking the restraint thoroughly. All set? Holly nodded. Then Foley tapped her helmet mic. Keep in touch, he said, pulling the door behind him. Don't think about it, Holly told herself. Do not think about the white-hot magma flow that is going to engulf this tiny craft. Do not think about hurling towards the servers with Mach 2 force trying to turn your inside out. And certainly do not think about a blood-crazed troll ready to disassemble you with his tusks. Nope, don't think about any of that stuff. Foley's voice sounded in an earpiece. T-20, he said. We're on a secure channel, just in case the mud people have started underground monitoring. You never know. An oil tanker from the Middle East intercepted a transmission one time. Mess that was. Holly adjusted her helmet mic. Focus, Foley. My life is in your hands here. Okay, we're going to use the rail to drop you into the E7 main shaft. There's a surge due to any minute now. That should see you past the first 100 clicks. After that, you're on your own. Holly nodded, curling her fingers around the twin joysticks. All system check. Fire it up. There was a whoosh. The pod's engines ignited. The tiny craft jostled in its housing, shaking Holly like a bead in a rattle. She could barely hear Foley speaking into her ear. You're in the secondary shaft now. Get ready to fly, Short. Holly pulled a rubber cylinder from the dash and slipped it in between her teeth. No good having a radio if you swallowed your tongue. She activated the external cameras and put the view on screen. The entrance to E7 was creeping towards her. The air was shimmering in the landing lights. The white-hot sparks tumbled into the secondary shaft. Holly could hear the roar, but she could imagine. Holly couldn't hear the roar, but she could imagine it. A raw, skinning wind, like a million trolls howling. Her finger tightened around the joystick. Wait, I got like a something happened. Blah blah blah. Ding ding ding. Don't know. The pod shuddered to a halt at the lip. The chute stretched above and below, massive, boundless, like dropping an ant down a drain pipe. Righto, crapped Foley. Hold on to your breakfast. Roller coasters ain't got nothing on this one. Holly nodded. She couldn't speak, not with the rubber in her mouth. The centaur would be able to see her in the podcam anyway. Sayonara, sweetheart, said Foley, and pressed the button. The pod clamp tilted, rolling Holly into the abyss. Her stomach tightened as the G-force took hold, dragging her into the center of the Earth. The seismology section had 1,000,000 probes down there, with a 99.8 success rate. By the way, that is incredibly low for a life. But sure. At the presenting the magma flares, but there was always that 0.2%. The fall seemed to last for an eternity, and just when Holly had mentally consigned herself to the scrap heap, she felt it. Yet the unforgettable vibration, the feeling that outside of her tiny sphere, the whole world was being shaken apart. Here it comes! Vince, she said, spitting the word around the cylinder. Foley may have replied it, but she couldn't hear him anymore. Holly couldn't even hear herself anymore, but she did see the stabilization fin slide out on the monitor. The flare caught her like a hurricane, spinning the pod at first until the fins caught. Half-melted rocks pelted the craft's underside, jolting towards the chute walls. Holly compensated with burst from the joystick. The heat was tremendous in the confined space, enough to fry a human. But fairy lungs are made of stronger stuff. The acceleration dragged her body with invisible hands, stretching the flesh over her arms and face. Holly blinked salty sweat from her eyes and concentrated on the monitor. The flare had totally engulfed her pod. It was a big one, too. 4-7 at the very least. A good 500-meter girth. Orange-striped magma swirled and hissed around her, searching for a weak point into the metal casing. The pod groaned and complained. 50-year-old rivets threatened to pop. Holly shook her head. The first thing she was going to do when she returns is kick Foley straight in the hairy behind. She felt like a nut inside a shell, between a gnome's molars, doomed. A bow plate buckled, popped in as throw punched by a giant fist. The pressure light blinked on. Holly could feel her head being squeezed, Her eyes would go popping like ripe berries. She checked the dials 20 more seconds before she rode out the flare and was running on terminals. Those 20 seconds, though, seemed like a decade. Holly sealed the helmet to protect her eyes, riding out the final barrage of rocks. And suddenly, a deep sigh of relief. They were clear. Sailing upwards on the comparatively gentle spirals of hot air, Holly added her own thrusters to upward force. No more time to waste floating around on the wind. Above her, a circle of neon lights marked the docking zone. Holly swiveled horizontal and pointed the docketing nodes on lights. This was delicate. Many recon pilots had made it this far only to miss the port and lose valuable time. Not Holly, though. She was natural. First in the academy, she gave the thrusters one final squeeze and coasted the last 300 meters using the rudders beneath her feet. She teased the pod through the circle of light into its clamp onto the landing pad. The nodes resolved, settling into the grooves. Safe. Holly smacked herself on the chest, releasing the safety harness. Once the seal was open, sweet surface air flooded into the cabin. There was nothing. There was nothing like that first breath of air after a ride in the chutes. She breathed deeply, purging the stale pod air from her lungs. How had the people ever left the surface? Sometimes she wished that her ancestor had stayed and fought it out with the mud people. But there were too many of them. Unlike fairies, who could only produce a single child every 20 years, mud people bred like rodents. Numbers would subdue even their magic prowess. Although she was enjoying the night air, Holly could taste the traces of pollutants. The mud people destroyed everything they came into contact with. Of course, they didn't live in the mud anymore. Not in this country, at least. Oh, no, no. Big fancy dwellings with rooms for everything. A room for sleeping, rooms for eating, even a room to go to the toilet. Indoors. Holly shuddered. Imagine going to the toilet inside your own house. Disgusting. The only good thing about going to the toilet was that the minerals were being returned to the earth. But the mud people even managed to botch that up by treating the stuff with bottles of blue chemicals. If anyone had told her 100 years ago that humans would be taking the fertile out of fertilizer, she would have told them to get some air holes drilled into their skulls. Oh, don't we love lobotomization? Holly unhooked a set of wings from their brackets. They were double ovals with a clunky motor, she moaned. Dragonflies. She hated that model. Petrol engine, if you don't mind. A petrol engine, if you don't mind, and heavier than a pig dipped in mud. Now, the Hummingbird Z7, that was transport. Whisper silent, with a satellite-bound solar battery, it would fly you twice around the world, but there were budget cuts once again. On her wrist, the locator began to beep. She was in range. Holly stepped out of the pod onto the landing. She was inside a camouflaged mound of earth, commonly known as a fairy fort. Indeed, the people used to live in these until they were driven deeper underground. There wasn't much technology, just a few external monitors and a self-destruct device should the bay be discovered. There was nothing on the screens. All clear. Phonemic doors were slightly askew where the troll had barged through, but otherwise everything seemed operational. Hey, good night, Jamie. Bye-bye. Have a nice sleep. Thank you for dropping by. Holly strapped on the wings, stepping into the outside world. The Italian night sky was crisp and brisk, infused with olives and vine. Crickets clicked in the rough grass, and moths flirted in the starlight. Holly couldn't stop herself smiling. It was worth the risk. Every bit of it. Speaking of risk, she checked the locator. The bib was much stronger now. The troll was almost at the town. She could appreciate the nature after the mission was over. Now it's time for action. Holly primed her wings motors, pulling the starter cord over her shoulder. Nothing. She fumed silently. I'll probably make this my last chapter and then maybe do something else. I don't know yet. Um, every spoiled kid in the haven had a hummingbird for their wilderness holidays, and here were the LEP with wings that were junk when they were even new. She janked the cord again and again. On the third wrench it caught, spewing a stream of smoke and fumes into the night. About time, she grunted. Flicking the throttle wide open, the wings flapped their way up to the steady beat. With not a single effort lifted Holly's shorts into the night sky. Without a locator, the troll would have been easy to follow. It had led it had, it had left a trail of destruction wider than a tunneled excavator. She It's not weird Ponyta. She's normal Ponyta. Okay? She's a lovely. She's great. She can all get all the cuddles she wants. Where was I? Even without the locator, the troll would have been easy to follow. It had left a trail of destruction wider than a tunnel excavator. Holly flew low, skipping between mist hazes and trees, matching the troll's course. The crazed creature had cut swath through the middle of a vineyard. I mean, technically, you're not even wrong because she is psychic and fairy type, which is it's a common combination in Pokemon, but it's like they're definitely weird. Like usually Pokemon that have that combo are like kind of weird mons. I mean, fairies are weird, and so is psychic types. They are just the weird types, right? So you're technically not very wrong. The crazed creature had cut a swath through the middle of a vineyard, turned a stone wall into rubble, and left a guard dog gibbering under a hedge. When she flew over the cows, it was not a pretty sight. Without going into details, let's just say there wasn't much left besides the horns and hooves. The red bib was louder now. Louder meant closer. She could see the town below her, nestled on top of the low hill, surrounded by a granulated wall from the Middle Ages. Lights still burned in most windows. Time for a little magic. A lot of the magic attributed to the people is just superstition. They do have certain powers, like healing, the mesmer, and shielding among them. Shielding is really a misnomer. What fairies do is actually vibrate at such a high frequency that they're never in one place for long enough to be seen. Humans may notice a slight shimmer in the air if they are paying close attention, which they rarely are. And even then, the shimmer is generally attributed to evaporation. Typical mud people to invent something complicated explanation for such a simple phenomenon. Holly switched her shield. It took a bit more out of her than usual. She could feel the strain in beads on her sweat of her forehead. I really should complete the ritual, she thought. The sooner, the better. They don't really explain this, but basically what they mean with the ritual is like magic has like a fuel, like mana. They don't mention mana, but they have like a fuel bar basically. And to refuel that magic, they need to do a ritual, uh, which is something that will come up later. That's something that will come up later, but like they don't explain that at all early on. Some commotion below broke into her thoughts. Something that didn't gel with her nighttime noises. Holly adjusted the trim on her backpack and flew in for a closer look. Only she remind look only. she reminded herself. That was her job. A recon officer was sent up to the chutes to pinpoint the target, while retrieval boys took the nice and chushy shuttle. The troll was directly below her, pounding against the town's outer wall, which was coming away in chunks beneath his powerful fingers. Holly sucked in a startled gasp. This guy was a monster, big as an elephant, and 10 times as mean. But this particular beast was worse than mean. He was scared. Control, said Holly in her mic. Runner located. Situation critical topside. Root himself was on the other hand of the comlink. Clarify, Captain. Yeah, I do like that there is like a limit to their magic. Though the limit is not that hard because if you just maintain it, you're never running out. But I like Holly not having magic is incredibly important in like the vast majority of the story, which is really good. Like they did that really well. Holly pointed her video link at the troll. Runner is going through the town wall. Contact imminent. How far away are retrieval? ETA 5 minutes minimum. We're still in the shuttle. Holly bit her lip. Root was in the shuttle? That's too long, Commander. This whole town is going to explode in 10 seconds. I'm going in. Negative, Holly. Captain Short. You don't have an invite. You know the law. Hold your position. But, Commander... Root cut her off. No, no buts, Captain. Hang back. That's an order. Holly's... Oh, also something. You don't have an invite is a very important thing. Also something they never really explain. Fairies cannot enter buildings that they don't have an invite to. Which is kind of the vampire thing, right? If a fairy does enter a location where they don't have an invite to, I believe they lose all their magic. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe they lose all their magic. That like their magic completely evaporates from their body. With that said, invite is very loose, and you will come to see that soon. Yeah, they have like Ian Colfer has like combined a lot of little cute as lore picks from different mythologies and stories and fairy tales, and combined them all in his story, and I kind of like that. Holly's entire body felt like a heartbeat. Petrol fumes were addling her brain. What should she do? What was the right decision to make? Lives or orders? Then the troll broke through the wall, and a child's voice split the night. Autiet. Okay, I cannot speak Italian, but it's Auito, Autio, Autio, it screamed. Help. An invitation. It's a stretch, but it might just work. Sorry, Commander. The troll is like crazy down there, and there's children down there. She could imagine Root's face, purple with rage as he spat into the mic. I'll have your stripes short! You'll spend the next 100 years on drain duty! But it was no use. Holly had disconnected the mic and swooped in after the troll. Streamlined her body, Captain Short ducked into the hole. She appeared to be in a restaurant, a packed restaurant, and the troll had been temporarily blinded by the electric light and was thrashing about in the center of the floor. The patrons were stunned. Even the child's plea had petered out. They sat gaping. A pantry had perched comically on their heads. Waiters froze, huge trays of pasta quivering on their splaying fingers. Chubby Italian infants covered their eyes with chubby fingers. It was always like this in the beginning, the shocked silence. Then came the screaming. A wine bottle crashed into the floor. It broke the spell. Pandemonium started. Holly winched. Trolls hated noise almost as much as light. The troll lifted a massive, shaggy shoulders, its retractable claws sliding out in an ominous shriek. Classic predator behavior. The beast was about to strike. Holly drew a weapon and flicked up to the second setting. She couldn't kill the troll under any circumstances. Not to save humans, at least. But she could certainly put him out until retrieval arrived. Aiming for the weak point, at the base of the skull, she let the troll have a long burst of concentrated iron rays. The beast staggered and stumbled a few steps. Then got very angry. Okay, thought Holly, I am shielded. I am visible. I am invisible to any onlookers. It would seem, though, the pulsating blue beam emanated from thin air. The troll rounded on her, its muddy dreadlocks swinging like candles. No panic, it cannot see me. The troll picked up a table. Invisible, totally invisible. He pulled back a shaggy arm and let it fly. Just a shimmer in the air. The table tumbled straight towards her. Holly moved, a second too late. The table clipped her backpack, knocking the petrol tank clean off. It span through the air, trailing flammable liquid. Italian restaurant. You wouldn't know it. Full of candles. The tank swirled right through an elaborate candelabrum and burst into flames, like some deadly firework. Most of the petrol landed on the troll. So did Holly. The troll could see her. There was no doubt about it. It squinted at her through the hated light. Its brow a rictus, pain and fear. Her shield was off. Her magic was gone. Holly twisted in the troll's grip, but it was useless. The creature's fingers were size of bananas, but nowhere near as pliant. They were squishing the breath from her ribcage with savage ease. Okay, we'll do that one again. Holly twisted in the troll's grip, but it was useless. The creature's fingers were like the size of bananas, but nowhere near as pliant. They were squishing the breath from her ribcage with savage ease. Needle-like claws were scraping at the toughened material of her uniform. Any second now they would punch through, and that would be that. Holly couldn't think. The restaurant was a carousel of chaos. The troll was gnashing its tusk, greasy molars trying to grip her helmet. Holly could smell its fetid breath through her filters. She could smell the odor of the burning fur too, as the fire spread along the troll's back. The beast's green tongue rasped across her visor, sliming the lower section. The visor, that was it, her only chance. Holly wormed her free hand to her helmet controls. The tunnel lights, high beam lights. She pressed the sunken buttons, and 800 watts of unfiltered light blasted from the twin spotlights above her eyes. The troll reared back, and penetrating scream exploding from between the rows of teeth. Dozens of glass bottles shattered as they stood. It was too much for the poor beast. Stunned, set on fire, now blinded, the shock and pain made their way through its tiny brain, ordering it to shut down. And the troll complied, kneeling over with almost comical stiffness. Holly rolled to avoid the sliding tusk. There was complete silence, for the tinkling glass, cracking for and sudden release of breath. Holly climbed shakily to her feet. There were a lot of eyes following her, human eyes. She was 100% visible, and these humans wouldn't stay complacent for long. This breed never did. Containment was the issue. She raised her empty palms, a gesture of peace. "Siskatemi tueti," she said, in a language flowing easy from her tongue. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. I cannot do Italian, okay? We'll just take it. The Italians, ever grateful, muttered. That was nothing. Oh, the Italians The Italian's ever-graceful muttered that it was nothing. Holly reached slowly into her pocket and withdrew a small sphere, placed it onto the middle of the floor. Guard you it, she said. Look. The restaurant patrons complied, leaning in to see the small silver ball. It was ticking, faster, faster, almost like a countdown. Holly turned her back to the sphere. 3, 2, 1, boom, flash. Mass unconsciousness. Nothing fatal, but headaches all around in about 40 minutes. Holly sighed, safe for the moment. She ran to the door and slid the latch across. Nobody was going in or out. Well, except through the big gaping hole in the wall. Next, she doused the smoldering troll with the contents of the restaurant's fire extinguisher, hoping the icy powder wouldn't revive the sleeping behemoth. Holly surveyed the mess she had created. There was no doubt it was in shambles. Worse than Hamburg. Ruth would skin her alive. She'd rather face a troll any day. This was the end of her career for sure, but suddenly that didn't seem so important, because her ribs were aching. She had a blinder on the pressure headache coming on. Perhaps a rest, just for a second, so she could pull herself together before retrieval showed up. Holly didn't even bother looking for a chair. She simply allowed her legs to buckle beneath her, sinking into the chessboard lino floor. Waking up to Commander's Root's bulging features is the stuff of nightmares. Holly's eyes flickered open for a second. She could have sworn that there was concern in those eyes, but then it was gone, replaced by a customary vein-popping fury. Captain Short, he roared, mindless of her headache. What in the name of sanity happened here? Holly rose shakily to her feet. That is, there was. The sentences just wouldn't come. You disobeyed a direct order. I told you to hang back. You know it's forbidden to enter a human building without an invitation. Holly shook the shadows from her vision. I got invited in. A child called for help. You're on shaky ground there, Short. There is precedent, sir, Corporal Rower. Oh, there is precedent, sir. Corporal Rowe versus the state. The jury ruled that a trapped woman's cry for help could be accepted as an invitation into a building. Anyway, you're all here now. That means you accepted the invitation too. Ruth said doubtfully. I suppose you were lucky. Things could have been worse. Holly looked around. Things couldn't have been a lot worse. The establishment was pretty trashed, and there were 40 humans out for the count. The tech boys were attaching mind-swipe electrodes on the temples of unconscious diners. We managed to secure the area in spite half the town hammering on the door. What about the hole? Ruth smirked. See for yourself. For like quite a bit, I was like, what part is this? But I figured eventually, guess that means it worked well to get me sleepy last time. Yeah, I guess so. Is this part where like the introduction of Holy Short basically? Which is a really long bit. It's like incredibly long, but we're reaching the end. We're almost there. What about the hole? Ruth smirked. See for yourself. Holly glanced over. The retrieval had jimmied a hologram led into an existing electricity socket, and were projecting an unbattered wall over the hole. The holograms were handy for quick patches, but no good under scrutiny. Anyone who examined the wall too closely would have noticed that there is a slightly transparent patch that was exactly the same as the stretch beside it. In this case, there were two identical patches of spiderweb cracks and two reproductions of the same Rembrandt. But people inside the pizzeria were in no condition to examine walls, and by the time they woke up, the wall would have been repaired by the telekinetic division, and the entire paranormal experience would be removed from their memories. A retrieval officer bolted from the restroom. Commander? Yes, Sergeant. There's a human in there, sir. The concussor didn't reach him. He's coming, sir. Right now, sir. Shields, barked Ruth. Everyone! Holly tried. She really did. But it wouldn't come. Her magic was gone, and a toddler waddled out of the bathroom. His eyes heavy with sleep, he pointed a pudgy finger directly at Holly. Ciao, Folletta, he said, before climbing into his father's lap and continued his snooze. Ruth shimmered back into a visible spectrum. He was, if possible, even angrier than before. What happened to your shield, Short? Holly swallowed. Stress, Commander, she offered hopefully. Ruth wasn't having any of it. You lied to me, Captain. You're not running hot at all, are you? Holly shook her head mutely. How long since you completed the ritual? Holly chewed her lip. I'd say about 4 years, sir. Ruli nearly popped a vein. 4 years! 4 years! It's a wonder you lasted this long. Do it to now. Tonight. You're not coming below ground again before your powers. You're a danger to yourself and to your fellow officers. Yes, sir. Get a set of hummingbirds from the retrieval and a zip across the old country. There's a full moon tonight. Yes, sir. And don't think I've forgotten about this shambles. We'll talk about when you get back. Yes, sir. Very good, sir. Holly turned and go, but Ruth cleared his throat for attention. Oh, and Captain Short? Yes, sir. Ruth's face had lost its purple tinge, and he almost seemed embarrassed. Well done. On the life-saving thing. Could have been an awful lot worse. An awful lot worse. Holly beamed behind her visor. Perhaps she wouldn't be kicked out of the Reckon after all. Thank you, sir. Ruth grunted, and his complexion returning to normal, and his ruddy hue. Now, get out of here, and don't come back until you're full to the tips of your ears with magic. Holly sighed, so much for gratitude. Yes, sir. On my way, sir. And that was the end of chapter 3. The next chapter, I'm not gonna spoil. We'll get that. Maybe I do that every Sunday. Every Sunday night, I'll do like a couple chapters of reading. I've like 8 books of these, so like I can go for quite a while. Like this is I can do this like a very long time. This is a good way to spend my Sunday evenings. The only drawback is it's hard to like plan this when I'm like, yeah, it's fine, I guess. I could do that like mm, I can do this yeah, I will probably do this every Sunday. Um I have though been streaming for 4 hours now. 2 hours of Geodash and then 2 hours of reading. I'm sweating my balls off. I need to drink. Um, and I think I'll end it here for tonight. So thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all being here. I love you all. And see you next time. I don't know when I will stream again. Hopefully next week somewhere. I usually stream in the evenings, so hop in if you can. And have a good rest of the Sunday night. Bye bye.